வணக்கம் மக்களே, வெல்கம் பேக் டு ஐடி காரை சமையல். லாஸ்ட் வீடியோவில் சொன்ன மாதிரியே இன்றைக்கி நம்ம என்னென்னா சீலயனோட ஷோ பார்க்க போகிறோம். அது என்னென்ன வித்தையெல்லாம் காமிக்குது அப்படின்றது தான் இன்னையோட வீடியோ. ஸோ குழந்தைங்க குட்டீஸ்க்கெல்லாம் சூப்பராக என்டர்டைன்மெண்ட்டாக இருக்கும். அவங்களே ஃபுல்லாக இங்கிலீஷில் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுறாங்க கம்ப்ளீட் ஷோ. ஸோ அதை நான் அப்படியே வாய்ஸ் ஓவர் கொடுக்காம இது பண்ணிட்டேன். ஸோ என்டையர் வீடியோவும் பார்த்து என்ஜாய் பண்ணுங்க. நம்ம ஐடி காரை சமையலுக்கு லைக் பண்ணி ஷேர் பண்ணி சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ண மறந்துடாதீங்க மக்களே. வாங்க நம்ம ஷோக்குள்ளே போகலாம்.
Now we're going to be bringing Bounty right up to the front of the glass. So we do ask for this part of the show that you keep anything to kick shoulder out of the way. So you have been warned. Like you've got lots of friends. That's the first, isn't it? Now we've got to say hello to Bounty as well. And the way that we do this is by giving him a great big wave. With any luck, he'll wave back at you. So here he goes. Hi, Bounty. Now while Bounty's out, we are hopefully going to explain how on earth we train sea lions. People do ask us this all the time. In theory, it's quite simple. We use a method of training called positive reinforcement. So every time our sea lions do well, they get rewarded. Now this can be with fish, it can be with toys, games, favourite trainers. Bounty in particular likes a certain noise. And what noise is that, Bounty? Right. So you've all heard the noise, and now it's your turn. Isn't that exciting? So here we go. Your best sea lion impression now! Beautiful. Thank you very much for that. That wasn't for the show, that was just for our own entertainment. Now when we first start training, we introduce the sea lions to a whistle like the one in Vicky's mouth. It keeps it quiet, which is helpful, but it sounds the same all the time. We blow on the whistle and give them a fish. And we do this over and over. They quickly realise that every time they hear that noise, they're going to get rewarded. Once we've established that, we bring in that funny looking stick and we just want the sea lions to touch it to the end of their nose. The very first time that they do that, we can blow the whistle, let them know they've done a brilliant job, and then we can reward them for it. But now you can see that we can move Bounty around in loads of different places, just getting him to follow around the target. When Vicky's happy, she'll blow the whistle and he gets lots of fish for doing so. So we're going to go for one more. Give him a cheer. Very nice, Bounty. That was beautiful. It looks like hard work. Now we can use targets all over the place. We can even put targets right above your head. It's exactly the same concept. We just want Bounty to touch those ones, but they're a little bit higher. So give him a cheer. There's one. We're going to see if he can go all the way around to the next one. Here he goes. So they are just targets, just in a different place. Now you might have noticed that before that, Vicky very obviously pointed at them. And this is what we call a cue. It's a little bit like sea lion sign language, and it's our way of asking the sea lions to join in with their behaviours. So right now, Vicky is spinning around her finger, and Bounty is being a beautiful ballerina in that water. Now he's watching everything that she does, concentrating on her. If he doesn't want to join in, believe me, he will just swim away. He still gets all of his fish at the end of the day, even if he doesn't want to join in right now. Well, that was very, very beautiful. We all enjoyed that. Now with those cues, we can ask the sea lions to do lots of different things. Some things that might seem very, very simple, like getting Bounty to go up onto the land. Now this looks really easy, but this took 2 years for Vicky to train, so we're going to give him a cheer. Very, very nice. So once we've asked the sea lions to go up onto the land, we can ask them to do another behaviour, and this is called chaining of our behaviours. Makes them think that little bit more, which is very, very important because they are really intelligent animals. And this is something that Bounty is learning to do at the minute. He's learning to clap. Now this is actually quite good for him. He's taken a long time to figure out what on earth Vicky wants, because unfortunately for him, he doesn't speak English, and Vicky's Scottish and she doesn't speak any English either. So that is why those cues are really, really important. Now, most of the things that the sea lions know, we train using the targets, but not everything can be trained that way. For the rest, we do something called capturing, which is where we sit where you are and watch them. The sea lions naturally come up with their own behaviours, so Bounty right now putting both of his flippers on his face, that's actually something that he just randomly started doing. Every time he would do it, we'd blow the whistle and give him some fish, and he figured out that if he kept on doing it, he keeps on getting rewarded. Then we add in one of those cues. So again, that's something that Bounty is learning to do. Now another behaviour that Bounty came up with all by himself is an impression of another animal. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want to see your faces as you try to figure out what on earth Bounty is being. But he came up with this in the first lockdown. It was captured, and Bounty is being a slug, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice, give him a cheer, that was beautiful. Now Bounty, you have done a really good job, so we're going to let you go and have a break and then hopefully bring out our next sea lion for you guys to meet. So Bounty is the youngest of the bunch right now, so he's not coming out to do this show. Jack is just 1 year older than Bounty. He's actually from Germany and he is the laziest animal I have ever met in my life. But the next sea lion who will be joining us is called Callum. Now again, Callum is from a different zoo. He's actually from Amsterdam. But first we've got to say goodbye to Bounty. Give him a cheer. Well done, Bounty. And here he is. Hello, Callum. Now he might think he's amazing, and he is amazing, but he's also really down to earth. So you're still friendly. Go on, say hello to everyone, Callum. Very nice. Does upset Callum, especially when you get compared to a whale. That one hurts, doesn't it? Now he's not a seal, a whale, dolphin, any of those. He is a sea lion, and we think sea lions are the best. Now there are three main differences for you to tell seals and sea lions apart. The first is the most difficult to see because you have to be a little bit close to them, but it's actually on their heads. So on either side of Callum's head, he has little earlobes. They're very cute, believe me. They actually look a little bit like Shrek's ears in my opinion. So they stick out, you can definitely see them, but seals have nothing there. They have a completely smooth head and you can't see anything. But I understand it's sunny, that's a little bit boring. We've all got earlobes, Callum. So we're going to show everyone the next difference. If you put your hand next to Callum's flipper, go on! Wow. Now they actually were quite impressed, Vicky, that's pretty good. Now these big flippers mean that sea lions can get up to speeds of about, what would want to chase Callum. He's going to show you, he is the star of the show, and see if you can figure it out. So here we go. Thankfully it is the world's slowest moving shark, but let's make sure that Callum didn't get bitten on the bottom because sharks feel like porpoising. This is where they would jump in and out of the water really quickly. This means that they can catch your breath easily, and it does make lots and lots of splashing as well. This confuses sharks, but the best thing Callum can do as a sea lion is just jump up onto land. But anyway, but actually Callum's going to do a lovely impression for you, and he's going to show you that seals move around on their tummies just like that. And this is because they have a fixed hip joint, so they have to push themselves along very clumsily. It's quite embarrassing for Callum, especially because he is a sea lion and his hip joint is different. It actually rotates underneath him, so he can put all of his body weight on those four flippers just like that. He can run, he can jump, he's much faster than everyone here in our theatre. And to prove that, Vicky, you and Callum are going to have a running race. Yeah, look, they're really excited. Do you want to see them race? Yes, so here we go. I hope you've been going to the gym, Vicky. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, race! Oh, Callum's having a nap, everyone. He's decided he doesn't want to race. Now I think that you and Callum planned that because you didn't want to run. I'm not going to let him get away with it. Really high, and Callum can get nervous sometimes, so we're going to give him a big cheer at the end. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go, Callum! Yeah! Woo! Could you have walked up there any slower, Callum? We haven't got all day, you know. And he hasn't even jumped in. Now that's a little bit rubbish. What is the problem, Vicky? So it's not you as the trainer, no. Vicky is saying it's your fault you're not loud enough. Now, boys and girls, no one can tell you off for being loud in our Sealion Theatre. You can scream as loud as you want, so we're going to try again. In 3, 2, 1! Now, hopefully we've shown you the differences between seals and Sealion, and you can go home, get on TripAdvisor and talk about the Otter show. It's happened before. Now, Callum, do you think that you want to play a couple of games? That sounds good, doesn't it? You love games. Now, the first one we're going to play is Callum's favourite game in the entire world. This is a game of basketball. It's really good for his whiskers. Now, we're going to throw this into the water. It can go over the glass. So this is your warning. If it does go over the glass, please, you can just throw it back in. But if it's coming towards your face or the face of a loved one and you like the way that they look, please block it. Don't do what one lady did and hold up her newborn child to take the hit. It's very, very awkward for us. So whenever you're ready, you can throw that in and Callum can have lots of fun with his basketball. So like I said, he's using those very sensitive whiskers to find it in the water. You can see them pushing out every time he hits the basketball. They're amazing, the Sealion whiskers. They actually feel the vibrations of fish as they swim along, and they can tell where fish have been in an area up to a few hours ago, which I think is amazing. Callum would be able to do all of this just as easily, even if he went completely blind. He doesn't need his eyesight because his whiskers are so sensitive. Now that was really good, Callum. Us three got to have a good game of basketball there. But everyone sat there thinking, I want to play a game with the Sealions. Don't you worry, it never ever gets boring. So we're going to be as loud as we can with Vanakkam! It's so much fun, I know. Now, Vicky, you were brilliant, and they were quite good as well, but you've had a little bit more practice. Now they've had a go with the first one, I think they'll be even louder. So here we go with Vanakkam! Give yourselves a cheer. Now, Callum, you love to show off. It is your favourite show with you showing off however you like. You've just came out on the way, so you're just lying. So we're going to send him up that tower one more time. When he gets to the end, give him a really big cheer.
ஸோ இந்த கம்ப்ளீட் Sealion ஷோ வந்து பார்த்து என்ஜாய் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் மக்களே. யாராவது இன்னும் ஐடி காரி சமையலுக்கு சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணாமல் இருந்தீங்கன்னா கண்டிப்பாக சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. இந்த வீடியோவை சின்ன குட்டீஸுங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள். அடுத்த வீடியோவில் பார்க்குறேன் உங்களை. நன்றி மக்களே, பாய்.